products using like a ladder approach or layers of the cake or layers so that you create very substantial profits over time. And this is a concept I originally called the layers of the cake approach, and then Alex Hormozy put a different version of that in his book, Gym Launch. Uh, I don't know. I have been using that analogy a long time, so I don't know. I didn't take it from Alex. I just want you to know that the idea is that each product layers on top of the product before it. So you, for example, you may have a little introductory $10 product or $20 to $17 product. I call these candy sticks. They're just very easy products to create. I can do them in a day. It may take you 3 or 4 or 5 days for your first one. After that, they get a lot faster and simpler. And then the next, and so people buy that. And then the next product after that, maybe $47. I do $47 products, $37.97. So then maybe somebody buys that. Then, maybe you got a little $200 product, or maybe they buy another $97 product. There's, I think, a myth that each product has to be progressively more expensive. It's like Russell Brunson's concept of the value ladder, and each one is progressively more expensive. And I think that's a great model. It's a really good model. Number one, if your customers want the ascension, and number two, if they have the money to buy it. But in some markets, they don't want to ascend. They're really not ascenders, but they'll sit there and buy $10, $17, $50, and $100, $200 products all day long. And so it's like one of my friends said, well, if they're buying crap loads of $10 products, I don't care. I don't care. It's like, at the end of the day, the money all spends the same, right? And so I look at this, the way I visualize it is not a ladder, like a value ladder like this, like steps. It's really not a value ladder. It's really a steps, right? I don't see it like that. See it kind of like a ladder. I use the analogy of the cake. I don't know why. Ladders may be a better analogy, and ladder just has rungs, and they just keep buying products, right? And maybe they'll buy, your good customers will buy 20 or 30 products from you. It all adds up over time, right? It all adds up over time. And so the question then becomes, well, Marlon, do I follow a model like you've just described, or do I follow the big ticket model? Because there's people out there who say, forget selling anything low ticket, just sell the big tickets. Just go for the kill right away. Go for the juggler, right? And there's nothing wrong with that approach. It's a fine approach, but stipulated by a couple things. Do you want to sell big tickets? Because regardless of what people say, there are some concerns about it. Like if you have a few chargebacks, you could lose your merchant account. That's one big one. Number two, if people are spending, $5,000 or $10,000 or even $3,000 and they're unhappy, you can end up in some entanglements and issues there if they're unhappy. Handling refunds on really big tickets can be an issue, whether you offer them or whether you don't offer them. There's issues. So all I'm saying is the big tickets, while people make it sound like heaven, there can be quite a few little issues involved. And so I have always preferred, to a large degree, a small and mid-ticket business. Now, I've sold bigger tickets, not the huge ones, but bigger tickets, like up to $2,500, $1,000. And nothing wrong with that. They're good because I feel customers get more value from it. But you can have a pretty nice business doing smaller tickets and mid tickets. You can have a very nice business doing that. And I think for me personally, it's a good place for a beginner to start because I don't know, man. You go out there selling a big ticket and it's your first offer in the marketplace. You don't have customers, you don't have experience. You don't have experience selling, you don't have experience delivering, you don't have experience with the technology. There's people who do it and God bless them. There's people that do that and do very well with it. There's also a lot of people I think that struggle with that because, like, okay, first to start off with, what's your idea that's going to be worth $2,000, $3,000? I mean, like that stops a lot of people, 90% of people right there, right? Whereas if I said, what's an idea you have for a product that you could sell for $17 and people would be happy with it, I think you might get a much different response, right? So by the way, if you're watching this live, type live. If you watch to the bitter end, type bitter end. So appreciate you watching. And by the way, do me a favor and give me a note if the video goes blurry or not. I had an issue on Zoom the other day. And I don't know if it was just an issue with Zoom or an issue with my video. I think the camera kept zooming in and out, or so I would get blurry. And I made a little fix. And so I'd like to know if the video looks stable or not. And so what I like to do is build income layers of a cake. That means you can have some recurring billing programs or continuity. Yeah, you can have a $500 product in there after they bought some things along. Maybe you sell them $1,000, but they've already bought some of your lower tickets and they know you, they know your style, they feel comfortable with you. You know, if $1,000 is there, and there are customers who will just want to buy the $1,000 thing. I understand that. There's also customers who'll be unhappy when they buy the $1,000 thing because they didn't know you, they didn't know your style, they didn't know anything about you, right? So my preference is to have people come in and then buy lower tickets. And then when I offer something that's higher margin, they can buy it, but they're comfortable with me. They know what I'm like. They know how I teach. They know the approach. They know how I deliver products. And I just feel it's a little bit more of an organic way. Now, I'm not going to say it makes as much money, at least right off the bat, as just slamming people for big tickets. Again, nothing wrong with it. But if you go in there and you're only selling big tickets, yeah, you probably make a crap load more money. I'm just not sure that method is for everyone. For one thing, usually those things have to be phone sold. And is your idea of the business you want to run doing 3, 4, 5, or 6 sales calls a day on the phone? If it is, go for it. More power to you. I did some of that. I think I had 50 phone calls and like just a couple people bought. It was draining to me. And like, you have to remember when all these appointments are and it limits your schedule. I'd much rather create info products on my time schedule and my pace. By the way, if you don't have my free book on how I sell 70,000 products online, you can get it over at resellertoolkit.com/70K. That's resellertoolkit.com/70K. You're going to go to a page that looks something like this. You click the green button, it'll pop up and ask for your email. You enter your email address in there, and then it'll be sent to you in the email, and then you will have an offer for one of my low tickets on the next page, meaning I don't remember, I think it's probably $50, something like that, right? So this is my approach to the info product business. It's not the only approach, but I like it and prefer it because, the expectations of some of these buyers who don't know you and they're only coming in for the high ticket, their expectations may be through the roof and they have no comfort with you, no comfort with your style. And just to me, there's a lot of anxiety. There's anxiety associated with that. Now, is it appropriate to ascend people as they get comfortable with you? They know your style, they know your philosophy, they know what you're about. Then to me, ascending them is great. If you can offer more value for more money and really benefit the customer, then yeah, sure, why not? If you have that kind of a buyer, not all buyers are depends on your market and your niche. Not all buyers are really good ascension buyers. Like there are markets where, the buyers will buy a lot of low tickets. They will buy a crap load of low tickets. But hell will freeze over before they'll buy $1,000 product, and they'll tell you that, right? They're just not an ascension type buyer. So I think it depends on what kind of a market you're in. I have no problem with selling mid tickets, meaning $1,000 and less, 500 or less, and then lower tickets, meaning $100 or less. I've done real well with that. I have no problem with it. And so I think it's up to your personal style. So shout out to everyone watching today. And if you have questions or comments or something you want me to do a video on, please let me know. If you want to get into the info product business, or maybe you've been in it and haven't been very profitable or profitable at all, I'm your guy. There's really not anyone out there that's helping people build uh, a lower ticket business with ascension and a variety of different types of products. Yeah, I'm a bit of a unicorn. There's really not a lot of people. Most people out there are teaching slam people for the big ticket. Create the $1,000 course, sell it right away. Go for the juggler on the big ticket coaching by selling people over the phone and stuff. I'm an old school marketer. In the old days, we didn't do that. In the old days, start low, go slow, get fired, go higher. That's how I like it. That's how I believe it. But there's not a lot of marketers doing this today. You can have a real nice income from just a steady stream of lower tickets and mid tickets, and then you can add in your big tickets if you want to. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. You all have a great Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow.